guys? How you doing? Well, I hope. Happy New Year. Happy start of 2020. I hope that your new year, your holiday was wonderful, fantastic, filled with love and happiness. I'm back. Took me a second. What I'm starting to realize about myself is that January 1st is not the mental reset for me. Like, I need a second to ease into the new year. I feel like that, especially with the new year being in the middle of the week. Did any of you guys feel that? Like, the middle of the week was so bizarre and like I wasn't ready, so to speak. So I kind of took a few extra days off right after the new year, and then I started getting into gear, but like more on my personal side, like making sure that I, reorganize my apartment a little bit, and just sort of setting goals and sitting with myself, being in my head, doing the things to sort of get me ramped up for the new year. There are so many amazing things happening. I'm really excited about, I'm just gonna say it because we're about to record. I'm starting a podcast, you guys. Like, big news. Starting a podcast, more details on that to follow. Lots of good things. This video to start the new year, I wanted to do a Q&A because I wanted it to be personal. I do want to share some of my thoughts and get your thoughts about the new year and resolutions and what we're doing and what we're not doing. Do you set resolutions? I like to think of them more as goals. I don't like the whole new year, new me mentality. I don't like, it's a hard balance, right? And you guys can tell me in the comments like how you really feel about this, because I'm very curious. So I feel like life without setting goals makes no sense. Like, you have to set goals, and they can be career goals, personal goals, relationship goals, all of the things that we interact, all of the places in our life. Anything worth having requires work, right? So I think it's super important to set goals, reassess goals, like have check-ins with yourself, especially if you're, some people just can kind of go with the flow and they're really diligent. But me, I'm like, I procrastinate, I have some bad habits that are counterproductive. And so I have to like really sit with myself and do things so that I don't not do things, you know what I mean? But I think it also gets a little dangerous when, we're sort of being bombarded with messages about, not being good enough, or, if you have any issues where you struggle with self-esteem or different places in our lives where we, aren't the most comfortable. A lot of the messages to me don't reinforce, they sort of diminish. So with that said, I have some really good goals, I think. I'm excited about starting new things. I have a lot of my goals are based around learning, because I was sort of assessing what feeds my spirit and my soul. And yes, there is a Q&A, it's coming, but I just wanted to chat with y'all real quick because we haven't spoken in a couple weeks. But yeah, I think that I have a habit of leaning into things that are easy for me, and I'm creative and I love to feed that side of myself. I think even in the jobs that I do, there's a lot of intuitiveness. There's a lot of I just am naturally good at this. And so I wanted to try things that may be harder. So I'm excited to learn the podcast role because I don't know it. I did study broadcasting in school, and I thought I used to want to be on the radio. So that's a kind of cool full circle moment. And I also want to learn a language. I think it's French, because I feel like I love Paris. I go at least once a year. I have a lot of friends who speak French, so I'd be able to practice IRL. So yeah, stuff like that. That is kind of the rambly intro to this video. I'm curious about your goal setting and what you're up to, and I hope that you're not letting any negative rhetoric around you or your body or your mind or your peace be disturbed by a lot of the wackadoo conversations happening now. But whatever your situation is, I hope it's good. Let's get into the Q&A. Okay, I have my phone here. So I ask these questions on Instagram. So if you would like to participate in future Q&As, hopefully you like them. I kind of like them. I feel like I found myself watching them, which is why I wanted to do one. If you want to participate, make sure you're following me on IG. And when I post it in stories, you can submit your question, and that's where I selected these from. So the first question is favorite jewelry or accessory brands, or current jewelry accessory faves at the moment. Right now I'm super into rings. I've been wearing a lot of rings. I have some vintage rings and I have some newer ones. I think that my favorites, oh, and then I have a lot of stuff going on in my ears anymore because I did a lot of piercing. So I love, like, Majuri is new and great. There's a lot of little like indie ones that I know they're mostly in New York, like Katberg has really great. I love like I like real jewelry just because I find the other stuff to be, you're constantly replacing it. And so if you buy 10 rings that are going to turn or get crazy, you might as well just invest and get, you know, something that is gold or at least vermil or something that's going to last. So that's another goal of mine, is this focusing more on quality, because I think the internet definitely forces you to participate more in fast fashion than you want to, and then also being plus size, like we just don't have that many options. But I am making a conscious effort, and that includes accessories. So I like little jewelry stores, and then there's one called Shop Poirier, or that's her IG, but it's called Poirier, and they do rings in all sizes, which is so amazing. They go up to like a 12 or something. I think this finger is like an 8. I don't have, my fingers aren't thin, but I don't have like the chubbiest of hands. So rings are generally a little bit more easy for me. I think this one is a 6.5 or a 7. This one is definitely 8. These two I think are 9.5 to 10 is the size. I think this one is a size 10. And this is vintage, so I don't really know what size it is. It's a little big for this finger, but it doesn't quite fit my my ring finger. The question is, what is your most Sagittarian quality, and what are your moon and rising signs? So I think the Sages are, everyone thinks that their sign is like so great, but I think Sages are really special people because everyone's special. But I think the good, most Sagittarian thing about me is that I'm incredibly generous. I'm very creative. And like, if I love you, I will give you the skin off my back. Like, that's just how I am with everyone in my life. Like, I feel like I go above and beyond with generosity, whether that's with time, whether that's with listening, whether that's with things, gifts. Like, that's just how I am. That's my love language. Yeah, creative, free, you know, we love to float around and whatnot. I think my negative is that I'm fire, right? So I can be quick to just, you know, be pissy, like that. But the other Sagittarian side of me is that we are quick with it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't hold grudges. we let stuff go really easily. And I think that can be good and bad, because people can kind of take advantage of that, like doing the same thing over and over, because we're so forgiving and we're so whatever, that we just kind of, I think we sometimes let people take our kindness for weakness, or sort of take advantage in a way. And that isn't the best. What is your favorite statement anything? I like this. I think let's do a couple categories. My favorite statement, like, makeup thing right now is a bold eye. And I have been posting like these inspo pictures on my IG stories of like eye makeup that I want to try. I'm probably going to start a Pinterest board, start saving stuff. By the way, do you guys like Pinterest? Because I'm on there. Same name, and I get dressed. Go find me. Favorite statement clothing item is probably a bag or some sort of accessory, or kind of everything. I'm like minimal or everything, maximal. Favorite statements, home decor thing, definitely a sofa, hence the pink sofa. Hey Kelly, would you Airbnb your flat while away? I have thought about this, you guys, because it would make so much sense, especially like during the Christmas time. Sorry, I like blow dried this hair and it is getting in my face. I've thought about this. especially during Christmas time when I'm gone for a good chunk of time, or if I'm going to travel like in the summer, or if I want to just go live somewhere for a month. I'm not really sure. It's not that, I don't know. Like, I feel like it would make so much sense. My place is super cute. I think that, you know, it would probably do well on Airbnb. But then there's this concept or this looming thought of someone sleeping in my bed. And it really shakes me to my core. I'm really not a fan of that. And I don't know why, because like, I mean, you can put like mattress protectors and covers and sheets and all that. I don't know. It's something that I might entertain in the future. This is a good one. Do you ever get bored with social media? If so, what re-inspires you? I think that when social media and creating content is your job, it can definitely get intense. I think it's natural to feel bored when you do a thing every day, or when you do a thing for money. So then there's all these parameters and rules. You know, you want to make sure that you're creating content, you're being authentic, you're working with brands, you know, there's a lot to navigate. But I feel like it's really in my wheelhouse of like what I absolutely love. Like, I love especially creating photographic content. I've come to love making videos. I love editing, another skill I want to get better at. So I'm looking for an editing class in LA. I don't want to just, I mean, yes, you can just use YouTube videos and figure it out, but I like going to a place. I like the human interaction. I like homework, you know, I like being held accountable. So I think that, you know, what I do to kind of keep myself inspired is, one, I take breaks when I need to. So I didn't make a video for 2 weeks, and that just has to be okay. You know what I mean? Because I used to beat myself up about it, and be like just hyper apologetic. And I'm like, but I didn't want to, you know, like I didn't miss any deadlines, and it's not authentic and it's not real. And it's not going to feel good for me or for you guys if I'm just like droning through like, oh, here's this thing I don't really care about. So one, I take breaks when I need to. Two, there's so many types of accounts anymore to follow. And I've been looking for inspiration outside of just fashion accounts. And so there's all these people who do all this creative stuff with like food and drinks. There's all these people who have really cool travel accounts. I love the cooking accounts. My sister has been sharing some with me because you just get really good recipes. I'm like, ooh, I want to make like tikka masala, or like, I don't know, I want to make some cool thing that I don't know how to make. And those are really great. So it's really just about keeping, I think, the variety of the kind of content that you consume inspiring, and thus you'll be inspired. I like this one. If you had to live in a non-coastal state, where would you live? I immediately had an answer when I read this, and I had to like think about like why, right? If I had to live in a non-coastal state, which for a number of reasons could be scary, just given like, you know, the state of the United States and our government and all that other wackadoo stuff, where would I live? I would live in one of two places. The first thought that came to my mind, and when I tell you came in a nanosecond, was Utah. Does this sound crazy and weird? It's because I've been to Utah and it is a stunning state. Like, I like that they have, like southern Utah has like moderate climate, and northern has like snow and stuff. I like that it's just really big. It's probably not super expensive to live there, and it's close to LA, so flights would be quick if I was needing to be coastal. So that was one thought. And then another thought, and this is even more strange, was Montana, because again, nature. I'm a nature girl. Like, I'm telling you, y'all, I'm such a city kid, and I love New York, and I live for it, and I definitely thrive, I think, in like more city environments, but I love nature. Like, the biggest thing about living in California, all I do, y'all, is chase nature. Like, I'm literally like, does anyone want to go sit on the beach at 5 p.m. and watch the sunset? Like, that's me. So I've been to Montana once. I went glamping there, and it was iconic, amazing, unreal. There's actually a video of my glamping like tent, which is on my YouTube, so you guys can, you know, go find that video. It's about 2 years ago. So I think I would live in one of those places where I'm just surrounded by the majesty of insane nature and be so happy. You guys came with the good questions. What would you suggest for someone on a first date at a coffee shop? So, I think that there's a couple different ways you can approach it. I'll tell you what I would wear to a first date at a coffee shop. I'd probably wear like a really cute daytime dress and either sandals or sneakers, like something where you look so cute and good, but it looks effortless. I love those like shirt dresses that just look super relaxed and cute, or more of a sort of form-fitted like maxi dress, like the cotton kind. Maybe something with button down the front, or a cute like little like print, but not too crazy. I think that men are so specific, and I'm definitely one of those girls who gets dressed for girls. Like, I get dressed for myself and for like fashion, but I think when it comes to dating, and especially if you are, depending on, you know, who your preference is, but men specifically are so specific. Men specifically are so specific, but they are in what they find attractive, and it's usually really narrow. You know, they want pushed up boobies, and they want to see your body a little bit. And I'm not saying you need to be naked, but you know, putting your best foot forward. If you have a great, you know, décolletage, you might want a little off the shoulder moment. You know, they need a little hint of what's to come. If you have great legs, maybe maybe you were having like a shorter dress, like whatever floats your boat, and whatever your comfortability is. And I think another cute outfit would be, like, this isn't my go-to, but I could see this being like very popular. I think like a really, like, your best jean, like whatever jean just makes you look so cute and that makes you feel so confident. A cute jean, and maybe like a nice like t-shirt, little tucked in, and maybe you have a little like blazer or cardigan over, just depending. And then you can add in like a cute heel or a cute flat or sneaker, just depending on, you know, what your normal vibe is. But I think the most important thing about what to wear on a first, especially like a coffee date, it's really chill, is to, one, represent yourself well. Two, be yourself, because you don't want to go in some like bodycon club dress and that's never what you wear, and he's never going to see that person again. You need to be authentic and be who you are. But I do think that, you know, the little extra effort when it comes to thinking about who your audience is and thinking about, you know, how you want to be perceived is good. You know what I mean? But I would do like a cute dress and an easy like flat sandal, you know, probably for me. Do you ever feel disappointed in your friends, and how do you handle that? I think that disappointment in people is probably supernatural, because no one's infallible, and no one is going to do the right thing for you at any moment. Like, I mean, at every moment. So have I ever been disappointed in any relationship, whether it was a relationship, a romantic relationship, I should say, a friendship, a family member, whatever? Of course, there are moments where you wish someone had said something differently or done something better for you, or whatever the case may be. And I think the best way to handle that is to be honest, to say, you know, hey, so this thing happened, you know, I'm disappointed by it, or it didn't make me feel good, or I'm upset by this situation. And, you know, if the relationship is valuable to you or important to you, you know, you have to give the person the opportunity to course correct, you know, and you know, if you think that this disappointment is so big that it can't be fixed, then you need to, you know, depending on the relationship, the length of the relationship, I think you still need to kind of have a conversation and say, hey, I'm disappointed in this, and I don't think that, you know, I would like to kind of continue this situation. But those would be my suggestions. This is a question I get all the time, and I'm finally going to answer it. I'm finally going to say the words. So, are you in a relationship, and have you met or have you met someone yet? When I started my YouTube, was in a long-term relationship, and I say was, and I was in that relationship until fairly recently. And I learned through the process of being in a relationship being, you know, sort of public about it in terms of I wasn't like, you know, making a video with my boyfriend every 10 minutes or anything like that. That wasn't my natural way to be, and it certainly was not his. But, you know, we were together for so long and very public, and it taught me that it's something that I will probably never share again. It was awful to feel like so many people were a part of that, especially as things were not working out. And I felt like, you know, what I wasn't sharing, people had sort of the goal to ask anyway. And it's like, I don't even do that with my friends. Like, I have people in my life who I can see a relationship of theirs have shifted, or, you know, the person isn't there anymore, and you don't ask until they tell you, you know what I mean? Just because you don't know what kind of, they could be having a good moment and here you go, like making them sad again. I don't know, like that's just how I roll. But yeah, it definitely taught me like where some of my boundaries were, between myself, with you guys, like what I want to share, what I don't want to share. And I never want to feel like that again. I never want to feel like I'm in something and the inner workings of that thing are connected to my job, and then you have like literally hundreds, and years after, like hundreds of people sending you messages that are so like felt so intrusive. And I get that, you know, when you put something out there, people will be curious, but it wasn't out there that deeply, you know what I mean? There was a couple moments, but I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to get too deep into that, but I didn't like it. For me, you know, how other people choose to be in their relationships, listen, that's 100% their choice, their business. It's not my business. But I just know for me, as I'm dating, when I'm dating, who I'm dating, that will never be something that I share in this space. Cause girl, here's a fun one. Oh, by the way, yeah, I wear this like every day. I have all the colors, and I wear the And I Get Dressed sweatshirt every single day. If you weren't doing YouTube blogging full time, what would be your dream job? So I feel like I had the first iteration of my dream job, which was PR and marketing, and events. I loved it. I had some really cool successes, some lasting things that have like changed the dynamic of, you know, our little fashion world and all that. Like, I feel really accomplished and great about that. If I were not doing this now, I think I would still have a foot in that world. I think I would probably be doing a little bit of influencer marketing, which I've done. And I don't know, I think I've outgrown the PR part in terms of traditional PR, but something in that world where I'm creating campaigns, I might have shifted toward advertising a little bit. And I don't know, I always feel like I, at this point, want to work for myself if it's at all possible. Like, God willing, I'll always have that as an option. So I probably would have, I don't know, I've always wanted to own like a vintage store, but like, I don't know. I'm not really quite sure, to be honest. Something creative, and potentially something to do with home decor. I feel like I'd probably be selling like home decor stuff, to be honest. Would you ever travel to Korea? Love from Korea, love your videos. I would love to go to Korea. My little sister has gone to Korea, twice last year or something like that, or she was just there. No, they went to Vietnam. But I have not been to Asia, and I'm like the only one in my little like circle of family travelers. You know, my two cousins, Carla, like all of us who like just hop on planes and like just be out. I would love to go to Korea. I kind of low-key want to learn Korean. So, I don't know. That's something. I feel like if I go there, I want to be able to speak a little bit, at least conversationally. And it's definitely on the plan. Like, Asia is on the docket for 2020. Like, I will be in there. The last question, and thank you for sticking with me through this video, which is probably long and rambly. What is one thing you hope will happen in 2020 to yourself or in general? For myself, I will just kind of blanket statement that I've set some very specific goals, and I hope that I have the fortitude and the diligence to meet these goals. Some of them are so new and so fresh, little seedlings that I'm not going to quite share just yet. But yeah, I really, and they're mostly, you know, personal and career goals. I feel really excited for the future in that way. In general, I hope that we are all working toward a peaceful, loving world. There's a lot of really scary stuff happening right now in this country and beyond, and it's a lot to handle. It's a lot to process, and I feel so much love and empathy for us and for everyone else, like all sides. And I think that I'm really just hoping for peace in this world for 2020. Praying for that, actually. So that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year again. Love you, mean it. See you next time.